Have you noticed that a lot? Like when people get something like back pain, that becomes their identity or the chronic pain. I mean, you're touching such great points, right? Of someone that says, you know what, I'm osteoarthritis, or this is my problem, and that becomes kind of their identity because they start changing the way they do things, right? And I think that heightens these different these different points, especially the fight or flight, and we've seen this.
Remember, there's no reward in nature at all for being vulnerable.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, but what we have a huge problem here is that this is true for humans. We don't have a reward for being vulnerable, and it's the essence of human relationships is being vulnerable. But there's a huge fact I need to jump back to before going with the conversation is that for humans, we have consciousness. It's called the predictive model of coding. So it turns out that thoughts are as much of a threat as a bully. So unpleasant, the research term is called URTs, unpleasant repetitive thoughts. So unpleasant thoughts or obsessive thought patterns become their own source of pain.
Yeah.
So the essence of disease is sustained exposure to fight or flight physiology. And what causes that sustained exposure is, first of all, your circumstances can be severe, poverty, no opportunities, racism, etc. But also your thoughts. Your inability to escape your thoughts is the number one factor that keeps your nervous system fired up. What's even worse is that repressed thoughts are even more fired up in the nervous system. But since you can't escape your thoughts, what do? If you repress them, you're screwed. If you experience them, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And then these thoughts become memorized in your brain to become obsessive thought patterns. I call it phantom brain pain. So what happens for most humans, we have some level of a sustained fight or flight. It's the exposure to sustained fight or flight that causes chronic mental and physical disease. And the essence of the solution is actually changing your physiology from fight or flight to safety.